Hello again, welcome to a special edition of CropLife Retail Week. With actually both of us in the building.
Both here. What a concept.
It's incredible. It's been several weeks. And I think we've been together as much in person doing this live as we have actually behind the camera. We were at the Growmark a few weeks ago.
Yes. Thank you to our friends there for, I know, it seems like a month ago, and it almost was.
I think it probably pretty much was a month ago.
Yeah, it was.
But so yeah, Growmark was, they're kind enough to have us come out and basically do this in an hour format, which probably is frightening for all of you, but we basically did a kind of an hour discussion of what's going on in the marketplace. Really good, some good questions, great discussion, so it was fun. It was great to do those.
Yeah. So we've had a lot of news that has been happening since, Paul. Of course, we've been talking about the tariffs. I know one of my trips was for the Agribusiness Trade Summit, and that was in Phoenix, and they were talking about the tariffs there, and I know the U.S. and China are going back and forth about who's going to be taxing who on 10% tariffs, and I know that the soybean sales had dried up to China when the last time we were together, Paul, but we found out in the interim that I guess the Chinese do use way too much soybeans to be getting them from other sources. So it sounds like, knock on wood, the Chinese will start buying soybeans at the higher prices because they basically have no other choice. Other countries around the world cannot fill their demand.
Yeah, well, it's kind of what we suspected to some degree.
Yeah.
It's just not the kind of infrastructure and delivery ability that a lot of countries have versus the U.S. But it seems like there was a lot of nationalistic discussion about, internally about trying to get Chinese to support China, China-grown soybeans and things like that, which is very interesting.
But it'll take a few years for that to take hold. So in the meantime, it looks like they're going to use our U.S.-grown soybeans.
Yep. Yes, sir. So other travels happening. We've been doing a lot of travel for our Environmental Respect Awards program. Going out and seeing retailers. I was in South Dakota actually visiting a seed location, a Pioneer seed location. I got to talk to those folks. It was three businesses that had come together in something called Triag Sales, which makes a lot of sense. But it was a terrific facility. They have actually, believe it or not, they had a KSI seed treater, which has nothing to do with why we're holding these bugs. Just KSI happened to send these to us, but had a seed treater there. It was a really nice unit. And talked about the service that they can provide fairly rapidly in delivery and customers, meeting customer demand. So that was good. The crops were wet. We were this was about 30 miles outside of Sioux Falls, and the crops are pretty damp. I saw that there's a lot of flooding. Apparently they've had a lot of moisture there, and it might be fairly regional. I don't know how far into South Dakota it went, but they're having a little bit of a tough time right now.
Well, I was actually, for my visits in Indiana and Kentucky, and the weather was hot. It was in the mid-90s while I was down there, but both the operations I visited, the Helena outfit in Indiana and the Nutrient Ag Solutions, Paul, yes, they had the new sign up in Morganfield, Kentucky, both said that the crops in their area were actually doing very well this year, and they're expecting a bumper harvest.
Interesting. But you didn't give me the old CPS sign, did you?
No, I did not. That would have been a hard one to get into the rent-a-car since it was the one outside the facility.
Well,
probably wider than I could have carried home, but...
That's what a blowtorch is for, you cut it and then put it back together here at the office. Hey, no excuses, sir.
Well, speaking of blowtorches, if you want to go
and you say I never segue you.
There's segue perfectly. Actually, we had some news break on the crop protection front that we'll have to watch very carefully going forward. A jury in California back on August 10th ruled in favor of a gentleman who was suing Monsanto and glyphosate for giving him cancer. They actually sided with the plaintiff in that case, Paul, and the damage award is $289 million. As you may imagine, Monsanto, now Bayer, will be appealing that decision, but there's about 5,000 other lawsuits around the country claiming similar problems with glyphosate and cancer. And obviously, if the company was to lose all of those, we're talking well over $100 billion in damages that could be coming down the line. So we'll have to keep a very close eye on what happens with this lawsuit and appeal process going forward.
Yeah, you can imagine. I mean, with all the lawn care use from regular consumers, not to mention professionals, and
Right.
it's been on TV a lot. Seen a lot of name gathering from law firms trying to figure out how much of a class action they can slap on there, and it's not pretty. I don't know. It's unfortunate because based on everything that we've seen, there's been tremendous amounts of science that
Yes.
say that there's not a problem.
Correct.
That this is based on just one or a handful of studies that have shown that, and not even a serious hazard, but maybe just a potential risk. And I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm kind of. It's, you know, we'll see how the appeal process plays out, but it's pretty awful right now.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Well, Paul, I guess this will be our last time together for a little while as well. I know next week I'm heading off to the Maggie Show in Bloomington, Illinois. Looking forward to seeing all our friends doing ag retail equipment in the marketplace. Based on the weather forecasts I've seen, it's supposed to be beautiful in the high 70s, low 80s while we're there in Bloomington. And looking forward to seeing Gene Payne and all the friends at IFCA. And looks like there'll be another bumper crop of new products. I know of at least 5 that I can think of off the top of my head that'll be introduced or making their market debut at the show.
Excellent. Well, stay hydrated, sir. You know, it's always a challenge.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for this edition of CropLife Retail Week, and we'll hopefully see you together, if not separately or something,
Something.
in the next couple of weeks. Thanks.